Well, hello, I'm Val Girling, and I've written lots of stories about travel. And it's not just travel in the known world that we know, it's not even in the known universe. It's in the unknown universe because I've made it all up. And my stories help you, enable you to go travelling around this imaginary universe with Ollie, my hero. Ollie Meadows is about an 8-year-old boy, and he is an ordinary boy until one day he meets an alien in his granddad's garden. And this alien is also able to change shape into anything he has seen. And so Ollie becomes involved in helping Flip find his parents because when they crash landed on Earth, he got separated from them. Now, this story of Ollie helping Flip be reunited with his parents is in this book, Ollie Meadows and the Defiants, which is out now and available on Waterstones and Amazon websites. And you can read about how Ollie tries to help Flip find his parents, even though they are being chased by the Defiants, which are a crowd of renegade shapeshifters that have followed him to Earth. Now, I've written several more stories, and they have lots of exciting adventures across the universe and imaginary planets. And not only that, but you can learn lots of cool words because I make a lot up. Not only do I use real words for things, but I actually make a lot up because lots of these things don't exist because I've made them up. And so therefore, when you see something like this, which is a picture of some food that Ollie found in a cupboard in the spaceship, you'd find out what snozzle paste is and what jubas are and porklers and blatters. And because there's a glossary at the back which tells you what all the words are. There are also questions at the back that help you to talk about some of the things that are in the stories, and they're great fun playing the detective. And there's a map of the adventure that they go on, and you can follow it through the reading the book. Now, the first story, Ollie Meadows and the Defiants, takes place on Earth. The second story takes place on another planet as they are flying to Flip's home planet. And what I'd like to do is just read you a little bit of it. We're at a point where they're going off in the pod into space, but as you will hear, something happens and their plans go awry. So here we go. Squeal, grind, squeal. What's that? Ollie asked. I don't know, but it wasn't supposed to happen, said Flip. Come on, let's see. And he rushed forward to the front of the ship where his mum and dad were frantically pressing buttons and pulling levers. They were whizzing through space, but Ollie could tell they were slowing down and no longer at mega mind-boggling speed. Pinpricks of light began turning into planets as they slowed down. More grinding, humming and whizzing. It's no good, Arlen. We're going to have to make an emergency landing, said Skylar. That's Flip's mum and dad. Okay, buckle up, you lot, said Arlen, and the family took their seats, watching the planet get bigger and bigger until it filled the whole window and they could see details like mountains and rivers and some settlements. From afar, the landmasses were brilliantly coloured and looked very different from Earth. They passed over some purple mountains and rocks. Vast expanses of what might be seas and lakes were pink, and the land in between was shades of blue. They passed over cities which were soaring, glittering towers, and as they got closer, they could see lots of small vessels floating in the air around the towers. They flew right over the town and landed flump in some blue grassland beyond. Everything went silent. All they could see was a view of tall bluegrass waving in the slight breeze. It actually looked quite pleasant. Well, this is a surprise, children, but don't worry. We'll soon know what's wrong, and then I'm sure we can get some spare parts in the city, Arlen assured them. And he and Skylar started running diagnostics to find out why they had had to land. "It looks amazing," said Ollie. "This must be Nuatakarnan, the one we saw on the screen." "Yes, I think it is. And it's a shame we can't explore, since we're the first ones to land here," said Flip. "Don't even think about it. You know we're not allowed to get out on new planets without Mum and Dad going with us. Stay where you are and let Mum and Dad do their job," warned Tula, which is Flip's sister. And with that, she turned on some loud, weird music that tss in her sonomuffs and turned away from them. So Ollie and Flip walked a little further down the pod to where there were a couple of other windows to look through and stared out at the blue grasses waving in the air. The boys were still gazing out of the window when there came a knocking on the back door. Who or what could be knocking from the outside? Flip and Ollie looked at each other and then to the front of the pod. Mum, Dad and Tula hadn't noticed the knocking. So, of course, they opened the door. Then lightning flashed. Darkness. And there I'm going to leave you in Ollie, Meadows and the Dream Spinners to see, for you to see what happens next. I hope that you want to see more of the adventures and read about more of the adventures of Ollie Meadows and join me on some of these trips out into the wild blue yonder of the unknown universe. I've got a third book being published at the moment, which I've also illustrated, Ollie Meadows and the Haunted Planet, a haunted moon, should I say, and that's going to be out in the spring. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I do hope that you want to know more. Okay, bye.